Have you ever stopped to think about whether the Bible tells one single connected story from start to finish? Well, that's exactly what we're digging into today. We're going to see how its very last chapter, Revelation 22, isn't just some random ending. It's actually a brilliant and powerful conclusion that perfectly mirrors and resolves everything that started in its very first pages, back in Genesis.
So it all really boils down to this one question. How does a story that begins in a perfect garden end? I mean, think about it. It's a question that sets us up for one of the most amazing literary bookends you'll ever come across.
You know, there's this really cool metaphor that some scholars use. They describe the Bible's whole narrative as a golden ring. The idea is that it's not just a straight line from point A to B that just stops. No, it's a circle. The end is intentionally designed to loop right back to the beginning, completing this incredible story of redemption.
All right, so to really get the power of the ending, we've got to go all the way back to the start. Let's talk about Paradise Lost with a quick trip back to the Garden of Eden.
So, what was Eden actually like? Well, Genesis paints a picture with a few key features. First, there was this massive, life-giving river that flowed out of the garden to water the whole world. Then, right in the middle, you had the tree of life, which offered immortality. And maybe most importantly, humanity had this amazing, direct, face-to-face relationship with God. No barriers. And they had a job, a purpose, to partner with God in ruling and caring for creation.
But, as we all know, this perfect setup, well, it didn't last. In one tragic moment, paradise was lost. And this becomes the central conflict, the massive problem that the rest of the entire biblical story is trying to solve.
And the consequences, the fallout from this, were just devastating. First, a curse enters the story. Suddenly there's pain, conflict, and death. Second, humanity is separated from God, literally kicked out of his garden. And finally, access to the tree of life, the source of immortality, is completely cut off. It's guarded by these powerful angels with flaming swords. The way back was sealed shut.
Okay, now we're going to hit the fast-forward button, big time. We're jumping thousands of pages to the very end of the book, from that first garden to the final city. And we're going to see how paradise isn't just brought back, it's totally reimagined in the vision of the New Jerusalem in Revelation 22.
So the first thing we see is something familiar, a river. But this is the river of life, and it's described as pure and clear as crystal. And get this, look where it's coming from. It's flowing directly from the very throne of God. This isn't just regular water. This is pure divine life, and it's flowing right through the center of everything.
And what's growing on the banks of this river? You guessed it, the tree of life. The very same tree that was blocked off by angels is now standing right there, totally restored and completely accessible to everyone. The keep out sign is gone for good.
But here's the absolute key to this whole thing. This is not just hitting the reset button and going back to Eden. Revelation 22 isn't a remake. It's a massive, glorious upgrade. The end of the story is intentionally, wonderfully greater than the beginning.
And this comparison just lays it all out. In Eden, the river flowed out. In the New Jerusalem, the river of life flows through the very heart of the city, from God's throne. In Eden, access to the tree of life was lost. Here, it's restored for all. The curse that brought so much pain and death, totally abolished. And maybe the biggest leap of all, humanity goes from hiding from God in shame to seeing his face in perfect, intimate fellowship. In every single way, it's a major level up.
Let's zoom in on that tree of life for a second, because even it gets a serious upgrade. The tree in Eden seems to have been a single tree, vulnerable, something that could be cut off. But in Revelation, the tree is this incredible thing that bears 12 different kinds of fruit, a new one every single month. It's a perpetual, never-ending source of life. And it's not just the fruit. Its leaves, the text says, are for the healing of the nations. Now, the Greek word here is therapia, which is, of course, where we get our word therapy. So this isn't about fixing a disease, because there aren't any. It's more like this ongoing therapeutic care that ensures the lasting health, prosperity, and unity of everyone there.
And then we get this incredibly simple but universe-altering statement. There shall be no more curse. That's it. The foundational problem of the entire story, the one that started back in Genesis 3, is officially and finally over.
I mean, just think about what that means. That one little phrase lifts everything that was holding creation back. Humanity's original purpose to serve and reign with God is finally fulfilled, but now it's in a perfected state,
with no more struggle, no more decay, no more things breaking down. It's all purpose, without the pain.
But the biggest upgrade of all isn't the river or even the tree. It's about the relationship. Remember how Adam and Eve hid from God in the garden because of their shame? Well, instead of that,
The text says, they shall see his face. This is an intimacy that was totally impossible for sinful people. For most of the Old Testament, to see God's face was to die. But here, it's the very definition of eternal life. And having his name on their foreheads, that signifies total belonging, a new identity that everyone there is a priest serving in his very presence. And so, the story comes full circle. That golden ring of redemption that we talked about at the beginning, it's finally complete. The end has beautifully connected back to the beginning.
The whole grand narrative started in one specific place, right? A localized garden. It was a paradise for sure, but it was fragile, vulnerable, and ultimately it was lost.
And it ends in something so much bigger, so much better. A cosmic, inclusive, and completely secure garden city that is also a temple. It's for all people. And this time, this paradise can never, ever be lost again. So really, this final vision is of a totally redeemed and glorified creation. It's a place where God's immediate presence does three incredible things. It banishes the curse forever, it restores life to its absolute fullest, and it invites us all into an eternal fellowship that's even better than what was in Eden.
Which leaves us with a final thought to ponder. The Bible's ending isn't just a return to the way things were, it's a profound elevation of the original. So, what does it mean for any story's end to turn out to be an even greater beginning?